Live like it's your last day on Earth. Check a couple items off of your bucket list. Say goodbye to all of your friends and family. Go lay down in a hospital bed. Talk to God. Prepare your soul for eternity. And get a good night's sleep, Maples, because the spaceship leaves tomorrow. Good morning, AHS. Good news, AHS students. You know the gap in space-time behind the school where there has definitely never been a parking lot? Well, the school board has just announced that they are going to put one there. The decision to build a brand new senior parking lot is obviously a controversial one because, as we all know, every senior class for the last 30 years has been wiped out completely by the dangerous plague, senioritis, and, frankly, it seems rather inconsiderate of the deceased to build them a parking lot which they will be unable to enjoy, except posthumously as disembodied spirits. When asked what motivated the construction, a representative from the school board said, "The AHS Senior Memorial parking lot will be for lots of things, but also not for lots of things. For instance, it will not be a hunting ground for the man-eating beast, which is not behind the mysterious new wall in the B hallway." As soon as the representative from the school board finished speaking, a mighty shriek was heard, echoing through the labyrinth, which is the first floor. The school board representative then cowered in terror and whispered, "Feeding time draws near," before vanishing into a shadow nobody had noticed. It is our privilege on the morning announcements to inform you, Adrian High School, about all sorts of ongoing goings-on in and around AHS. Today, we are proud to say that this little school's varsity competitive eating team, coached by our very own Mr. Lucius, became SEC champions today. Everyone on the team did a really great job and were led to triumph by Captain Hunter Vasquarius. That brave freshman fought valiantly, eating 9 hot dogs and the entire Tecumseh team. If you see Hunter around the school today, give him a pat on the back and tell him how proud we all are. If you do not see Hunter today, it is because he has been indicted on several charges of cannibalism, which is pretty much illegal. The JV team did not fare as well and will be missed. On a completely unrelated note, there will be tryouts after school today for a new JV competitive eating team. Students, I have made an incredible discovery. I have just found a spoon on a table in the cafeteria. Obviously, I was confused at first, because our cafeteria was converted into a low-security penitentiary following the pineapple pizza incident of '07. But then I thought back to 8th grade U.S. history with Mr. Potter, and I remembered the prophecy. You know, the one about the great spoon who swore he would send his voluptuous messenger in the form of a silvery utensil owned by no being. Staff and students, could this be the spoon? Even if it is not, it is too late, as I have already printed off and posted several flyers for a new religious organization surrounding it. When there exists a possibility that something could be another thing, which it is automatically not, as is implied by the fact that it is the first thing, which it is, and not the other thing, which it is not, one must act without regard to the thing's true nature, lest the opportunity to worship the thing's false nature vanish. All reasonable people should plan to meet in B216 after school today for indoctrination. The counseling office has asked that we remind all seniors that graduation day is nigh. They have also asked that I remind you that senioritis is highly contagious and has caused the extinction of every AHS 12th grade class for the last 30 years. Here are some helpful tips to avoid catching senioritis and becoming just another statistic. First and foremost, wash your hands at least 3 times a day, closely following every step of the standard senioritis prevention method. If you do not personally have all of the necessary materials, the counseling office can supply you with anesthetic and needles. If you do not already have your own bandsaws, it may be too late for you already. You should consult a medical professional immediately. In addition to periodically washing your hands completely from existence, be sure you maintain a good diet consisting only of the state-provided extreme health foods offered in the low-security penitentiary, which used to be a cafeteria. The state is very concerned with your nutritional well-being and insists that you stick strictly to their provisions of fried cheese sticks, fried lettuce, and fried grayish paste. The state has asked that we dismiss all concerns that you are being fattened up for the man-eating beast, which is not behind the mysterious new wall in the B hallway. Even if there were a man-eating beast, it would probably not even want to eat you if it knew about all of the super-healthy government food in your body. Such a beast would clearly have exclusive interest in organic, non-GMO, non-mind control serum people. Also, everyone knows that man-eating beasts, as staunch eighth-wave feminists, are personally offended by polite and speedy service, preferring to hunt and mangle their prey themselves. And there will definitely never be a hunting ground anywhere near the school, so please stop making baseless accusations about the state trying to fatten you up. On a completely unrelated note, today's lunch is fried grease. The school board just sent out flyers announcing that there will be renovations at some of the Adrian District elementary schools. In response to recent legislation which outlaws looking at children between the ages of 4 and 10, all students will be removed from the affected educational institutions and donated to the Lenawee County Humane Society. According to the Humane Society, they are, quote, glad to have some actual humanes. They probably said this because, despite being called the Humane Society, they do not sell any humanes. They do not even let humanes enter. They do not even employ humanes. The Humane Society is a gross misnomer, as all daily operations are performed by dogs and cats who sit inside grotesquely mechanical humanoid pods. Opponents to the proposal argue that it will not be easy to get students out of elementaries. I once had a preteen infestation in my garage, says concerned citizen Jeffrey Fink. It's almost impossible to get rid of them, the way they burrow into the insulation and gnaw holes in the walls. Several others share Jeffrey's views, including Mark Wilson, the socially prominent owner of Wilson's Child Control and Containment Company. He estimates that it could cost upwards of $18 billion to ensure that all the elementaries are free of the pesky children. Especially from 2nd to 3rd grade, when they're in the larvae stage, kids tend to get into all sorts of places. Storage closets, crawl spaces, plumbing. Heck, if you have recently erected any mysterious walls near any lobbies, they can get in there. Though this decision, like all other state-mandated educational decisions, is unfortunately ridiculous and impractical, it is necessary to comply. Experts conservatively predict that all children will be successfully vanquished by 2021. And once all the schools are kid-free as the Great Spoon intended them, the vacant buildings will be converted into warehouses. These warehouses will be a great place to store all the plans the Michigan Department of Education has given up on over the years. Lincoln will house millions of ACT prep packets and tests. Prairie Elementary will be converted to store all the untaken MEEPs. They're gonna put all the other elementary schools inside Michener. And Alexander, as the largest of the local elementaries, will protect a program Lansing gave up on long ago. Flint! And now, a word from our sponsors. This morning's announcements have been paid for by the Lobby Against Commercial Sponsorship of School Programs. Do you believe that it is immoral for schools to receive money from people with an agenda? Do you believe that it is wrong for students to be encouraged to make purchases over school PA systems? If so, support the Lobby Against Commercial Sponsorship of School Programs by purchasing an I Hate Corporate Influence of Public Institutions t-shirt from our online store. If you tell 10 Facebook friends how much you just hate when businesses offer monetary incentives in order to earn the approval of potential patrons, we will mail you a $15 Visa gift card. If you tattoo the words, "My beliefs cannot be bought," onto your forehead, we will send you 9 cents in untraceable electronic currency every time you direct someone who asks about your dermatological graffiti to our website. If you create an offshore bank account under an unassuming pseudonym and email all of its associated security information to laundering@laxosp.biz, we will grant you elite status as a member of our Platinum Club. As a Platinum Club member, you will have unlimited access to lots of great online Flash-based games, including Black Salaries and PC Gamer's pick for Best Game of the Year, Operation Shellco. The Lobby Against Commercial Sponsorship of School Programs. Give us your money, you hypocrites. Attention all seniors. The obligations list has been posted outside the counseling office. Seniors with unfulfilled obligations will not be permitted to walk on graduation day. Fortunately, the obligations list is plainly visible. Unfortunately, it is written in English, which apparently is not taught to the younger generations anymore, or, at any rate, hasn't been offered at this school for decades. So, I will read through the list now. Abby Myers and Katie Sumter, you still have Mrs. Wade's 10th grade geometry textbooks. You know, the ones with the steamy pictures of those perfectly Euclidean two spaces. We all drooled over them at one point or another. It's perfectly normal. Just give them back. Chris Dengraff, you have 5,324 unpaid parking tickets. Congratulations, Chris, for breaking the all-time school record. Head on down to the athletic office to pick up your custom-engraved trophy from Mr. Roberts. And don't worry about paying the fines. You're a legend at Adrian High School, and you are welcome to park your literal aircraft carrier anytime, free of charge. Mr. Wiggles, the pet hamster, you have stolen our hearts. With your soft, hairy body and your big, glassy eyes, but most of all, with your adorable, vicious, deadly claws. It was cute and funny the first time, but now the joke has been going on a little too long, and the school's insurance premiums are getting a little too high. Please, give them back whenever it's convenient for you, but preferably sooner than later. Also, seniors, you will be unable to graduate until you have completed the Common Core Senioritis Vaccine Series. Cameron Kuhn has just become the first to fall victim to the ailment this year. The initial stages of the disease are already taking effect. His soft flesh appears to be melting into itself. His hair is turning straw-like and falling out. And he is incredibly lazy. He was lazy before the disease too, but what are you gonna do? Seniors, dear seniors, take care of yourselves. Perhaps you could be the first class in generations to emerge victorious from the horrors of high school. Do you have a taste for elegant cuisine? Do you enjoy kicking back with like-minded friends? Do you have 6-inch razor-sharp incisors? Can you produce highly acidic saliva to aid in digestion of various meats? Do you have a genetically enhanced insect-like hard shell around your body, making it difficult for predators to eat you? If you answered yes to any or all of these questions, you should consider joining the Junior Varsity Competitive Eating Team. It just so happens that everyone who used to be on the team is no longer on the team after Saturday's Munch Till You're the Lunch Invitational in the Tecumseh High School Gladiator Arena. Interested students will need a valid sports physical on file in the athletic office and should make sure that their parents' insurance provider covers biting. On a completely unrelated note, hammers. Uh-oh, Maples. Senioritis is spreading rapidly. It is a merciless contagion now affecting 88% of our school's seniors. The World Health Organization has declared a state of emergency in our little haven, as they do around this time every year. Several local vendors and entertainers have expressed contempt towards the City Planning Commission for providing so little advance notice about this 31st annual State of Emergency Festival, which is always a valuable source of income for small businesses. Several seniors have expressed contempt towards these several local vendors for trying to monetize their misfortune. The seniors visibly displaying symptoms have been quarantined in the school swimming pool, where definitely no one has ever caught one of countless plague-esque pathogens, ever. The school swimming pool is also not a euphemism for a watery mass grave, because nobody has perished yet. However, our school swimming pool, like all school swimming pools, is well equipped to handle a sudden influx of corpses. The seniors who are refusing to relinquish their perfect attendance record will be permitted to freely roam the premises and have gone on the honor system, promising not to get anyone sick by breathing in the same room, touching any of the same objects, or vomiting violently. If you are an infected senior who is choosing to avoid quarantine, that's fine. Try not to skin melt on anyone, and please carry around a hand vac to suck up all of your brittle, headless hair. Also, seniors, please do not come near the Morning Announcements office. I am a senior myself and have not yet completed my senioritis vaccine series. I only say this because Edward Holstein is currently staring at me, wild-eyed, melting face pressed against the window, bits of his broken black hair cemented into the jelly of his flesh. He is melting through the wall. His increasingly gelatinous form is seeping through my protective enclosure. This must be a new permutation of the infection. Maples, I've personally witnessed years of seniors suffer their inevitable bald, liquidy fate, but never before have I seen such a mutation of the human form and the laws of physics. I must flee, but as a Good Morning Announcements host, I refuse to leave you, Adrian High School, abandoned to a silent PA. This may be my last act as a solid being, Maples, and thus I give you the board report.
But I didn't, and I'll always be confounded to why they have forbid it. That reason seem unfounded. When you think about all the arbitrary rules and regulations of which you have no knowledge, and terms of registration which you signed to be a hostage, you might finally see law is not morality. I should've, but I didn't. Read the pages full of fine print, discussing all the limits of life's end-user agreement. I've supposed some slight semantic separations. Papers are not people, though the two are treated equal. Judges are not Jesus, though the latter was a sequel. When on trial and plead, law is not morality. I should have, though I did not, though I realized that I had got to escape from the tradition of our life's laws only present a construction of dysfunction for protection from conception of a major moral mess up which would wreck our social setup. I should have, but I didn't bother going to the trial, cause my contract's nearly finished after holding for a while. Once my time is up, I guess I'll stop running. Opposite oppressor who has forced me to be faster towards my predecessor who I've chosen as my master. Then I'll get to meet he whose law's morality.
Well, AHS, I'm back. I am safe. And if you're hearing this, you are safe as well. Unfortunately, 92% of our senior class has collapsed into a hazardous beige pudding. But soon, these losses will be forgotten by our district. While I was out, I ran, scared, through the labyrinth which is the first floor, trying to evade what gooiness was left of my classmates. I was by the school nurse's woodshed and was so close to making my escape through the wormhole in D hallway when I turned a sharp corner, only to be caught unexpectedly by once human slime. I braced myself for the worst, but it did not come. I resolved to relinquish my physical rigidity and my luscious hair, but the universe demanded no such recompense from me. As it turns out, the 11 other surviving seniors and myself have had senioritis in our bodies from near the time of our birth, creating a sort of immunity. We happened upon each other and rejoiced in our shared mammalian formfulness. Everyone, I am so proud to be a member of the first senior class to leave AHS in 30 years, and to be one of many young and yet-to-be-born pandemic-resistant upperclassmen. And I am excited to discover what horrible outbreak awaits us later in yet unlived lives. This has been quite an exciting morning, Adrian. If you please, join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flags of the United States of America, of the South African Entrepreneurial Society, of the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, and of the Adrian High School Mathematics Department, and to the ideal for which they collectively stand, mutualistic economic benefits of deliberately inflicted suffering. 2 nations, 1 corporate alliance, and a mathematics department under the Great Spoon, which exists. That's all for your morning announcements. Make it a great day, Maples. The AHS Morning Announcements were created in the style of the podcast Welcome to Night Vale, written by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner. Their show and other projects can be found at welcometonightvale.com. The cover art was created by Jocelyn. You can hunt her down on the interwebs, in places and in person, in different places, and if you pay her generously in Canadian rupees, she may create beautiful things for you, like this cover art. Everything you've heard here was written and performed by me, Crosby, who I am. The board report was Should've But Didn't, from my album The Extra Philosophical EP. To hear the rest of the album and to keep up to date on my other, less derivative projects, you can find my virtual liaison, Internet Crosby, on Facebook and YouTube, and at the tastefully non-existent address, internetcrosby.weebly.com. Thank you very much for listening, and remember that you or a loved one may turn into hazardous beige pudding at any moment, so you should always carry a big spoon.